Previously.
Friend in a friend.
The Bunny of the North.
The Jon Snow of the rabbits. Oh.
Such a great place to visit. I'm thoroughly pleased with going to Okunoshima.
Absolutely. And next time we will rent bicycles. Just beach, mountains, beautiful weather, happy little bunnies.
Yeah.
Beautiful shrine.
Yeah, stuff to see, not just bunnies. It's a good place, and it's right in between the Seto Inland Sea, where there's so much to do and see there that we didn't even get to do while we were there.
So many good things, so little time.
Still, day 8.
And yay! Here we are in Hiroshima. This is the view from our Airbnb where we stayed in this little neighborhood. And I really kind of dug it.
Compared to the other bigger towns that we were at, Hiroshima has a more chilled out vibe. In town, you have the streetcars, and the streetcars run slightly different than the subway or the train does, where you pay before even approaching. With the streetcar, you just get on, and then you calculate how much you're gonna owe, and then when you get off, you just chuck it in the bin where it's calculated, and they're like, yep, thanks. Well, I didn't know that, because if we look at this train area, there's not a lot of English going on in this thing. So I just figured I have to pay now for our trip. So I start chucking money into the machine, and an older lady's like, no.
Yes, she stepped in and helped negotiate the situation.
And we saw multiple streetcar drivers helping people out. The streetcar came and picked us up right in front of our Airbnb, and we took it on a 45-minute trek over to where we would take the ferries across to Miyajima Island.
Yay!
And
sorry about my finger. I have no idea.
It's fine. I had my fingers in a few shots too.
How annoying that is. So right there, just as sun is setting, we finally arrived at the ferry port from Miyajima to hop on over.
I thought the ferry was supposed to be included with the JR pass. They had signs up everywhere saying no JR pass is accepted. Basically, then I just shrugged, paid for each of us to get on the ferry. As soon as the ferry takes off, I see the ferry perpendicular with us with a big JR on it, and I just sank my head and said, damn it.
It wasn't that much money, not a crisis.
There's a really nice walk from the pier to the shrine on the island, and it's filled with restaurants, it's filled with shops, and most importantly, it's filled with deer.
I was charmed by this deer. He just kept making eye contact with me and just slowly chewing his cud. Like, hey dude, how you doing?
Yeah, they were all very chill.
Yeah, it was just really nice to see that wild animals are so comfortable around people. I'm a little bit more of a I love animals person, and so this was more my style. And yes, these deer.
And they're always interested in what the people are doing, because people have food.
Yes, and stuff.
And people own restaurants, which have food. But there was a younger guy that chased a deer out of a stall.
Laughing hysterically, but smacking this deer on its ass while it was running, going, "Aah!" to get away. And this guy was just laughing, going, "Boo, boo, 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 boo."
Probably helping itself to some stuff.
Undoubtedly, because these deer are not afraid to be a little bold when it comes to the food. And deer love beer. How cute is that?
Now, a lot of the shops and restaurants were closing up because we got there a little bit later. Places close up a little bit earlier in Japan. We didn't make it in time to do a tour of the shrine.
Yeah, we just missed it.
And the water was starting to come back in, so we didn't get to walk out to the big floating
the
Torii gate either.
Yeah, my bad, sorry.
But it was good to watch the water come in.
Because we captured views like this.
Yeah.
And that was really nice.
It was
sunset
beautiful.
Couldn't have planned that any better. And we didn't plan it.
We had a picture that took 8 pictures to get to because I kept screwing up, and chomp me.
Stop. I love that picture of you.
Yeah, all
That's
these.
just serene. Just serene.
We're gonna have a study of the floating tori gate here for the next 5 minutes of video and pictures because
Worth it.
it just looked really good.
Yeah, it really did.
And we couldn't get into the shrine.
Well, and if we tried to go to the shrine, we would not have had this view of the sunset.
Yeah.
Because it was obscured by that mountain on the left. So I think we were absolutely in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, for this especially.
Yeah.
And
This little baby!
this showed us the true meaning of what these deer are all about.
Emotional manipulation.
Hey, that's not for you. No.
This was the best part of the entire trip to the island.
I should have kept the camera rolling because this deer, it's trying to draw people in, and this guy didn't have anything, so he didn't care much about that. But after this, the deer drew in someone with a bag, and the deer's like, yeah, give me the bag. We finished up looking around the island. Mm-hmm. It was way past dinner time for us.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
And it was hard to find a place still open.
Yep, most places were closed.
But we did find this place.
Yes.
And it was delicious.
It really was. One of the only places still open on the main drag. I had some tempura and I had some udon, which are my two favorites.
I had eel.
Eel. That eel was lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
And I got some of the local, the little maple leaves filled with red bean paste. Day 9. Dobashi.
Yes, it is. That was the stop where we got off.
It was just a few blocks away from Peace Park.
Yes.
Which definitely, in my opinion, for any American traveling to Japan, if you can make it here, it should be a must.
It is about acknowledging all of our history. Whatever your beliefs are about the event itself, that's up to you to reconcile, but you need to look at it up close and acknowledge that this place was brought to ruin because of an American military action. Go look at it and just see it for yourself. The box underneath that dome contains the registry containing all of the names of the people that died. The way that registry of names and that dome line up, you stand in front of it and you see the eternal flame burning, and the way that it lines up with the promotion hall, yes.
The park is filled with statues that are there as memorials, there as hopes for a better future, there as remembering children, there as to remember the South Koreans who were living in the city at the time. It's just a park filled with not just memories, but it's a park filled with a hope for something better. All these video segments, I encourage people to stop the video to read all the signage that I'm putting out there, because it's important to understand what we're showing. These cases contain thousands of origami cranes that memorialize the children lost in Hiroshima through the story of Sadako Sasaki, who died of leukemia at 12 years old due to exposure from radiation. While dying, she attempted to fold 1,000 origami cranes to receive a wish, a world without nuclear weapons. When I first walked past this mound, I was filled with emotion that it was important. Even though I didn't remember seeing it on Google Maps before coming to Japan, when I looked at the plaque next to it, it hollowed me as I learned that this is the final resting place for tens of thousands of civilians who died in the bombing. The most iconic memorial in the park is across the river, the Industrial Promotion Hall, or as it's more commonly known today, the Atomic Bomb Dome. A monument to the youth that gave up their lives to work ground zero to clean up, and all of them eventually succumbed.
Over 12 years of age were mobilized for labor services throughout the country. As a result, more than 10,000 students were killed, including some 6,000 killed by the atomic bomb. They gave up their youth and studies for the nation. This tower was erected by concerned families and friends to console the souls of these victims who sacrificed themselves for their homeland and who would have had a promising future had there been no war.
The plaque next to the promotion hall details its design, destruction, and finally its preservation in multiple languages. We were gifted cranes here for signing a petition to the UN that nuclear weapons should be banned.
This is creepy and hard to look at,
Yeah.
but so important. This is what, and nuclear weapons are so much stronger now, which is shocking. I hope and I pray with all my heart that we never, ever, ever have another event like this ever in our history. Ever.
Locals were not exactly pleased with the idea of leaving it up as a reminder, because it obviously very hurtful memories, but they also knew at the same time here's a symbol of all that's left. People, this town, everything.
Yeah.
This is, other structures that did stand after the bombing were demolished already. But this was saved as the icon. And all over the park, you hear this bell ring. And when I found out what it was just kind of one of those moments of... The park is filled with a bunch of those moments.
It's a must-see. Please look at it and hope for better choices in the future so that it never comes to this again.
There's one more video to our 2019 Japan series. Make sure to stick around to check it out. In the meantime, like and subscribe, and I hear if you click that bell, some good stuff happens too.